small hours of the morning.
What do you mean again? This isn't your first book? He shook his head and smiled. I need to show you something. I'll be right back. He stepped away, leaving me there in the fading sunlight, gazing out over the sea of buildings. I wanted us to stay in that moment, stay right here until there was nothing else. It was selfish, maybe even petty, but I wanted it more than anything else right now. He stepped out of the bedroom and back to my side. Touching my shoulder, he drew my attention to what was in his paw. It was a sun-bleached, tattered notebook, one I had never seen before. He held it out to me. Go ahead, read it. It's embarrassing, but it's something I need to share. Confused, I opened it. Mostly it was pages of rough doodles, a few snippets of bad poetry, and some notes on classes. The few dates I saw placed it likely in his high school years. However, one thing stood out. It was a short, clumsy, but innocent story of a young man who admired another from afar. In awkwardly beautiful prose, it spoke of the distance, the ache, and the loathing that he could not approach the person he desired. It ended on a silly, sappy note, the focus of his affections finding the notebook was falling equally in love. A short note followed, though the name of its intended reader was scattered out in blank ink. It read, I can't say this with my voice, so I used my words. I love you. I closed the notebook and looked up at Seth. Yo, this is actually kind of sad. The fuck? It was my first story. He was the first person to inspire me enough to write. Down the road, I may remember it as some fleeting high school crush, but the wound still aches sometimes. Yo, this is actually sad. I don't want to cry. Like, can you please? Why do all these love stories always gotta be tragic? Like, why can't it end like, oh yeah, we're together and we live happily ever after? Why is it always gotta be like, you're gonna leave and I'm never gonna see you again? Why is it always gotta be like that? Like, damn. Come on. You never showed it to him? No. I did. What little confidence I had propelled my hand forward while we were in the library. He read it page after page in complete silence. When he was done and looked back into my expectant eyes, he said nothing. He simply laid the notebook on the table in front of me, got out of his chair, and left the room. I didn't see him the next day, or the day after. When I finally asked someone, they told me his parents had moved and he'd gone with them. Seth. For 2 years, I assumed it was me, that I was the reason he left. Part of me still thinks that, and all of me thought I would never recover. The folly of youth and the power of infatuation. Maybe you were more right than you thought. Maybe my experience would be better spent on romance novels. I wanted to say something, anything to turn the conversation away from this topic. I opened my mouth to speak, but halted when I saw Seth's lips spread into a smile. What I'm saying as awkwardly as I did in that notebook is that I care about you, intentionally or not. You drew me back out of the days of loss and regret. You were enough to draw a whole book out of me. You're the reason I'm here, that I even got here in the first place, and I'm not going to let you go. Not like I did the last time. I had this chance. He stepped forward and slid his paws into my hands, pressing himself close as he kissed my cheek softly. So let's forget about it for the moment. Let's just enjoy this for a few more minutes before your practically and my anxiety bring it back up. Practicality. Alright, for you, I can try. I can't swear I won't think about it, but I'll try to stay here. Fuck. And that's all I need right now. It's been too perfect of an evening to let it go so soon. Besides, I seem to remember our celebrations requiring more than just dinner. I promised dancing, too. Releasing my hand for the moment, his paw tapped a button just below the TV stand. A moment or two later, after a hiss and a whir, a soft, simple melody began to play over hidden speakers. His paw slid back into my hand and squeezed softly as he drew close to me and began to sway within slow, measured time. It's not the same music as a club, but at least we can talk over this. I squeezed his paw back softly, drawing him close as the two of us began to glide across the soft, carpeted floor. His eyes remained locked on mine, glimmering in the dimming sunlight as all but the dance faded from my mind. It didn't make it any easier, holding him close to me, feeling his silken fur against my skin. I didn't want to lose this either, but could I in good coincidence be so selfish? Seth lowered his head, pressing his cheek against my chest and purring softly, almost humming with the music. I couldn't help but smile in return. I wasn't quite sure when the music stopped, our bodies still pressed close, but something stirred us enough from the embrace. I glanced at the clock and sighed softly. Please, don't leave. I don't want to. I hope you know that by now, but dinner's over. It's nearly dark. Then, stay here for the night. Stay with me. You're beautiful, David. Intoxicating and amazing, and 100 other words I know but just fall short of my tongue. It's not fair to use your riderly wiles against me. Oh, it's not fair to use your ritterly wiles on me, you know. You know what I say. In this moment, in this perfect moment, I say... What? Seth, please, what? You know what I say. In this moment, in this perfect moment, I say fuck what's fair. I say I want you, David. Do you want me to? Woo-hoo, woo. Damn, whoo, I feel that. The words caught in my throat, my body tensing as he lifted his lips upward and pressed them firmly against my own. His paws released my hands, wrapping around my waist and folding one over the other at the small of my back. It had been too long since I felt this, the aching need of another, the passionate embrace. My own hands came to rest on his shoulders, cupping them and pulling his body even tighter against my own. A gasp escaped his lips, swallowed eagerly by the tongue before it could escape. Sep's body trembled against me, his paws drifting smoothly down along the curves of my backside. My body twitched as the sensations as my once comfortable clothes grew tight and confining. Heat rolled off us in oh my. Well, well, hold up. Heat rolled off us in waves, fueled by our needs and desires. His paws held me lewdly, his tongue bathing my own in the sweetness of sugar and spice. I drew my hands beneath his shirt, lifting it upwards to the sound of an elated moan leaping from his throat. His own paws drew upward, tracing along my waistband, and gently undoing the fasteners they came across. The feel of his fur. Once my arousal was exposed, Seth had a shiver down my spine. Once my arousal was exposed, sent a shiver down my spine. Our lips finally parted, the cool rush of air pouring into our starving lungs. I looked down, seeing his paw slip over my sensitive flesh and squeezing softly. I moaned, the heat burning within me as my own hand slid beneath the waistband of his shorts. Well, this is romantic. It was as if a dam had burst, my needs overwhelming my senses. It was no longer about loss, about the moment slipping away. It was about us, together in all ways exploring each other. We fell back upon the couch in a sudden lurch, the frame groaning beneath us as the cushions caught our fall. My lower back laid bare. What little had separated us now scattered across the carpet. I had broken Seth's hungry grasp on me long enough to pull the shirt from his body and discarded it amongst the undergarments. Ooh! Ooh, damn, that body. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, David. My lips sought his again, touching long enough to catch the moan from my hand caressing down along his still closed thigh. My fingertips splayed through that perfect fur and watching as his head arched back, breaking our kiss with a gasp. Ooh, ooh, ooh. His paw slid along my shoulders, over my chest, and down my abdomen, his hips arcing against me with each squeeze on his creamy white thighs. Creamy? What? Lifting my hands away for a moment, I removed and discarded my last garment before slipping my paw around his waist and pulling him close against me. Our lips met a third time, hungry and needful kisses between tongues, twisting and twining around each other. My hand fell to his firm hips, and with a smooth pull, I slid the raiment from his lower half, bare to each other, and the cooling night air I pulled him close. Ooh. Oh. Now it's getting interesting, y'all. I'm about to get that dill. Seth grew bolder, pressing his warm fur against me, his thighs touching as he surrounded my legs in his silken fur. I let loose with a strangled cry, my hands grasping his lips firmly in reply. Against each other we rose and fell, caressing every contour and exploring every curve. The couch protested beneath us, only just bearing our weight as we touched, licked, thrust, and squeezed each other with a passionate need. Eventually, I could take no more, my instincts howling in my head to end this teasing and simply claim my feline. Ooh, y'all, it's about to get interesting. For a moment, we tussled, his body straining as I shifted him around and slid my legs between his. In the haze of his need, he caught a moment of clarity as a smile again crossed his lips. Damn, y'all. Shit. Okay. Wrapping his legs behind my back, he pulled me close and brought my tip into the inviting cleft beneath his tail. My hands held me soft aloft for the moment, lingering above him as he pressed back towards me. I need you, David. Show me how much you need me too, please. Am I gonna get one of those juicy scenes? You know, the Jason, come on, let me get one of them scenes. My hips needed no further provocation and my body ached with anticipation. Smoothly he parted around me, even as his tightness grew nearly intolerable. Every inch was squeezed and stroked in that velvety virgin grasp.